I identified 7 levels of coding over the past 2 decades working as an engineering leader and coach. I show you what they are, how you can move up, and why writing less code is key to that. And it all started with your very first app. Maybe it was a game, or maybe you just got fed up with every accounting app on the planet and you took things into your hands. Whether you did it with AI tools or the old-fashioned way, you are now a software developer. Welcome to the club.
All of you can be programmers now.
But there is a lot you don't see yet. That's normal. Keep building until you hit your first roadblock. Your game's character is teleporting across the room when it really shouldn't. Or you just got fined because of a bug in your accounting app. You scramble, but every fix seems to make things worse. This is where most people give up. But once you understand the problem, it only takes 3 steps to fix it. Let me show you what's going on. I'm sure you hate these old tabs just as much as I do. You nudge it a bit warmer and water is splashing everywhere. And when you finally get it perfect, your partner starts to shower and you're back to square one. Your code base works the same way. Every line affects everything else. To fix the problem with the tab, you need to get one of these. To fix the code, you need to clean it up so every line only affects the one thing you care about.
When you check the code in, check it in cleaner than you checked it out. Every single time.
Let me show you how you can make the AI clean up for you. First, when the coding agent gets stuck, ask it to document what code design issues are getting in its way. Next, revert and clear the context. Finally, ask the agent to plan a refactoring based on the findings that will make implementing the feature easier. Your app should now do the exact same thing as before, but just like with the modern tab, it is much easier to control. It might take a few cycles of these steps, but eventually the agent will complete the task with ease. The code base is smaller and better organized, so it understands it better. And a smaller code base doesn't just help the agent. For the next level, you are going to need it yourself. By now, you have built an awesome app, and you show it off to your family. Your niece plays with your game for hours. Your uncle wants to pay you for using the accounting app. So you put the app online and charge a modest license fee. You're already dreaming about buying a house when you realize your app is gone from the internet. The database is empty as well. You ask the AI for an explanation.
I'm sorry, I made a crucial mistake and left a security hole in your app. I leaked your passwords and then I panicked and deleted the database to control the damage. In case you use the same password elsewhere, you should change it.
You did, for your bank account, and now it's wiped clean. They took all your money. Your story goes viral. Low level turns it into a cautionary tale, and the prime agent bugs you for 50 minutes straight.
The name is the skill issue agent.
You never want to build an app ever again. Most never will. The critical mistake developers at this level make is assuming that software that is impressive is also ready to be shared with paying customers. But the gap between the two is actually much bigger than it seems. So at this level, if you just want to build a business, stop trying to wipe code and hire an actual engineer. But if you are coding because you love building things, here is what you need to start learning. First, learn at least one language. I recommend Python or TypeScript. Your AI has probably been using one of them anyway. Then, practice without AI assistance. That's how you build the skills to read and modify code yourself. Then read up on cybersecurity, algorithms, data structures, and system design. I left a reading list in the show notes, but you'll also need a mentor. AI can help you learn specific topics, but it won't teach you about cross-site scripting unless you ask. What is cross-site scripting, you ask? That's not the point. The AI can explain it. But without a mentor, you wouldn't even know to ask, would you? You will naturally slow down during this process. But the next level is all about speeding up again. By now, you've been coding professionally for years, but you miss the days when you could get stuff done. You finally ship a feature after 6 months, but somehow it still feels rushed. You crave some recognition, but instead you spend weeks fixing bugs in features hardly anyone uses. If you stay on this path, you will burn out. So let me show you how playing Battleship can help you. If you haven't played yet, both players set up their fleet at the start of the game and they need to figure out where the opponent's ships are. I will call out one cell at a time, and you tell me if I hit one of your ships or not. I track every hit and miss, and slowly figure out where your ships are. Now imagine if you played Battleship, and you called your first 40 moves without ever asking if you got any hits. That would be ridiculous, right? When you build software, you have a similar issue. You know only parts of the code base, parts of the requirements, and even what you know is changing faster than you can keep up. Yet the mistake engineers at this level make is expecting to know the full picture and planning weeks of work up front. The more time you spend without merging your PRs or running your tests, the further you get from reality, and the harder it becomes to then adjust to it.
If you think things would be better if you reach that goal, try it out in some simple, controlled way. Take a small step towards the goal and see if you get closer to it or not.
Run your tests every few minutes, release every day, and you are already in the top 10% of engineers. But reaching the next level is about letting go of the very things that got you here. Given the chance to learn TDD from the author of TDD by example, most people would take it. But when Ken Beck joined Facebook, he faced a different reality.
Had to forget everything I knew about software engineering because nobody was going to listen to me. And I had to relearn software engineering the Facebook way, from scratch.
So why did they hire him if they weren't going to listen to him anyway? For that to make sense, we need to understand the three phases products go through. Previously, Ken worked on products that were profitable businesses. Their main goal was to keep the show running. He calls this the extract phase. But Facebook needed him to solve a different problem. When projects start out, the main risk is not finding enough users before the money runs out. Move fast and break things may seem unprofessional, but if you are in the explore phase, it is the right thing to do. But the most challenging phase is between these two, and where most of Facebook was at the time. It's when lots of people get suddenly very excited about your product, but you are not ready to handle all those customers. This expand phase feels like playing whack-a-mole.
And you're going to moan and complain about how you wished you'd done everything right from the beginning because it's so hard to scale something that's garbage. If you had carefully done everything right from the beginning, you wouldn't have executed enough experiments to have the problem that you need to scale it and whine about it.
The biggest mistake you can make is assuming that building the right way is the same everywhere. But once you can build the thing right, next you will need to learn to build the right thing. By now, you're the most senior engineer on the team, and you could build anything. Steve, the CEO, just announced a world-class innovation, a mobile app for submitting receipts. Well, it would have been innovative 10 years ago, but better late than never, I guess. But this year will be different. You are becoming an AI-first accounting app. Whatever that means. Your product manager comes up with the idea. You can't imagine who'd want to chat with their receipts, but you don't have anything better, so you build it. You barely shipped it when your PM tells you to turn it off immediately. The chatbot was a little too eager to point out that clients could save a lot of money by switching to the competition. Not only is it cheaper, their agentic accounting system saves hours for the accountants. So why did you miss that opportunity again? Here's a simple way to think about it. These are all the features that no one has built yet. Some of them are things users actually need. Some of them are just about possible. Doesn't mean it's straightforward, but you could build them in a couple of weeks. That intersection in the middle is what I call the innovation zone. Once something ends up there, you either build it first or someone else will. And to be the first to build it, you need to be the first to see it. Now, here's the problem. Your PM is an expert in what the users need, but she understands a tiny part of what the technology is capable of. You, on the other hand, know what is possible, but have no idea what users need. As Marty Kagan puts it, winning products come from the deep understanding of the user's needs combined with an equally deep understanding of what is just now possible. So if you want to drive innovation, you can't expect your PM to tell you what to build. At this level, you need to spend less time coding and more time joining your product manager for user interviews. You need to work together to find the best solutions to the user's problems. But once you master the innovation, you're just one step away from forever changing how software is built, like Grace Hopper did in 1952. The UNIVAC she was working on filled an entire room, and programs were stored on huge magnetic spools. For each piece of code you wanted to call, you had to remember where it was on the tape. If one piece of code changed, the rest had to move around and every reference had to be updated. It was like an 80s mixtape, but if the tracks changed length every day. Why do we do this if a machine could do this for us? She wondered.
Don't be ridiculous. Computers can only do arithmetic.
So she built it, the first compiler ever, and work that used to take days suddenly took minutes.
But I long ago discovered that the best way to get something done was to do it. And if necessary, apologize.
For years, people called her a cheater. Now I can't think of a single programmer who works without a compiler. Of course, it's hard to become an absolute legend like Grace Hopper, but the secret to lasting impact is so simple it feels like cheating. Remember the innovation zone we talked about? As a developer, you know exactly what other developers need, and you know exactly what is possible. All you have to do is pay attention to the pain you feel right now and be the first to solve that pain. And if you do, you'll achieve the same result with less code, and so fast, people will think you're cheating. Now you know what the 7 levels are, but you can make it to the top much faster if you watch this next video about the things I had to learn the hard way, like when I ran my entire business to the ground.
If during the next 12 months, any one of you says, "But we've always done it that way," I will instantly materialize beside you and I will haunt you for 24 hours.